was a hell of a fighter, a gold medalist, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but he was behind the scenes. Two guys with a crazy amateur backgrounds. And
when Floyd Mayweather, arguably the greatest boxer of his generation, takes a moment to tip his hat to Oleksandr Usyk, you sit up and pay attention. Floyd doesn't hand out compliments like candy. Every word from him comes with meaning and calculation. Usyk's amateur pedigree and Olympic gold medal aren't just decorative achievements. They're loud, flashing warnings to any heavyweight daring enough to chase glory in his division. Daniel Dubois may have raw...
It's going to be hard to beat him. It's going to be hard to beat Usyk because he's fast and he outpunched...
raw, destructive power, but Usyk's ring IQ is operating on a completely different level. Mayweather sees it, the boxing world sees it, and now it's time to hear from Dubois himself. The British contender is talking a big game in the build-up to this fight. He's saying all the right things. He's confident, he's different, he's ready. But we've heard that song before from many contenders standing across from Usyk. The difference...
I think so. I think I've shown that in my last 3 fights that I'm totally different. I'm more confident, believe myself more and whatever. But yeah, ready.
Between words and execution on fight night is a chasm most can't cross. Against lesser opponents, Dubois has looked improved. His last win gave him momentum, but let's not kid ourselves. He wasn't fighting a ring general like Usyk. This isn't Joe Bloggs from Brixton. This is a pound-for-pound technician, a man many consider a general.
Right now, I believe Usyk has more fans in UK than any of the other UK fighter.
Generational great. Confidence might get you through media day, but it won't save you when you're swinging at air for 12 rounds against one of the most elusive fighters in heavyweight history. From fighter bravado to management perspective, even Usyk's team knows the British crowd understands exactly where their loyalties lie. Usyk has done something rare for a foreign fighter. He's captured the respect and admiration of UK boxing fans. His heart, his humor, and his humility have won over the British public far more effectively.
I think I'll give Dubois a shot in that fight. It's a good time. I mean, a little bit of inactivity because of the fight falling through against Joseph Parker, but you know, it's exciting, and I think definitely
than any PR campaign ever could. Wembley Stadium won't be a homecoming for Dubois. It's going to be a battlefield echoing with Ukrainian flags and Usyk chants. The British public respects greatness, and Usyk has earned every ounce of that admiration with blood, sweat, skill, and sheer willpower. But despite all of this, not everyone is writing Dubois off. Enter Eddie Hearn, the eternal salesman of British boxing. Hearn knows how to build drama, how to fuel a fight-week narrative, and how to inject belief into a challenger. He's throwing his promotional weight behind Dubois, hyping him up, suggesting Usyk's inactivity could be a factor. But let's be real. Calling Usyk vulnerable...
27, being a heavyweight, being the champion of the world now, and he's on his way up. Where Usyk is in his 37 is in a top position now. Yeah, so there is no other...
Due to ring rust is a reach. This isn't a man who takes time off and comes back sluggish. Usyk doesn't do ring rust. He does master classes. Every time he steps through the ropes, he delivers clinical performances that leave doubters silent. And let's not forget, Dubois hasn't exactly been Mr. Consistency. If anything, this so-called opportunity is a well-disguised trap door, and when it slams shut, it'll be Dubois on the wrong side of history. Next up, Alex Krasyuk, Usyk's former promoter, throws age into the discussion. At 37, Usyk is no spring chicken. But does that really mean weakness when you're operating on genius mode? Krasyuk's breakdown may sound simple on the surface. Dubois is younger, hungrier, fresher. But when you dig deeper,
I think Daniel Dubois, he's on a roll. He's coming off of a massive win against AJ. Usyk's also on a massive roll. So I think that fight's going to come down to mindset.
Truth reveals itself. Dubois may be 27 with youth on his side, but youth alone doesn't put you at the top of the mountain. Usyk, at 37, isn't just on the mountain, he is the mountain. He's proven himself time and time again against unified champions, often doing so in enemy territory with the world watching and waiting for him to fail. Yet he never does. Dubois is undeniably on the rise, but this climb is steep, treacherous, and cold at the summit. Usyk isn't showing signs of slowing down. In fact, he's evolving. The transition from slick cruiserweight to heavyweight maestro hasn't dulled his tools, it's sharpened them. Dubois may have hunger, but Usyk holds the blueprint to success at this level. This isn't about who's younger. It's about
that Dubois now is a different machine.
Self-confidence will be...
And time waits for no man, as the saying goes. I just think that this is a fight it's exciting. It's a good fight. You've got to make Usyk the favourite, but it's a fight that Daniel Dubois can definitely win.
Yeah.
I don't think Usyk.
who's smarter, tougher, more experienced, and more battle-tested. In every single one of those categories, Usyk stands alone as the clear favorite. Chris Eubank Jr. weighed in, rightfully bringing mindset into the conversation. When it comes to mental toughness, Usyk's steel-plated focus is unmatched. Dubois might be on a good run, with a confidence boost after recent wins, but let's not pretend that puts him anywhere near Usyk's psychological level. This is a fighter who's walked into hostile arenas, taken belts off world champions, and made it all look like business as usual. Usyk isn't just physically tough, he's mentally unshakable. He shadowboxes underwater, grins through chaos, and never lets the moment overwhelm him. Dubois, on the other hand, still carries the mental scars from his stoppage loss to
Usyk in December and beat him. I'll reign all the belts I should never have lost, and then I'll fight the Dubois.
Joyce. Sure, he's looked better since, but none of his comeback fights have come close to the pressure cooker Usyk will present. When the championship rounds arrive and the game plan falls apart, it won't just be about power or endurance. It'll be about mindset. And Usyk's mind is a fortress. Dubois is walking into a psychological furnace, and only time will tell if he's forged strong enough to survive it. Carl Froch, never one to sugarcoat his views, nailed it too. Froch knows the fight game intimately, and he's sick of hearing Dubois hyped up as the man to dethrone Usyk. Even with all the talk about Dubois being a new machine, Froch isn't biting. He knows the truth. Self-confidence is fine, essential even, but it's fragile when tested at the highest level. Usyk doesn't just bring experience. He brings elite, top-of-the-food-chain experience. The moment Dubois starts feeling that awkward movement, the feints...
Especially in Usyk press conference, he's not going to start flipping tables and kicking off and this, that and the other. He's going to play a few little games and mind games and that. But aside from that, pretty chill and relaxed.
The footwork and that slick southpaw rhythm, all that pre-fight bravado could vanish like steam in the night. Froch calls it a good fight on paper, but deep down, like most seasoned observers, he knows what's coming. Usyk won't get rattled. He won't get dragged into wild exchanges. He stays calm, picks you apart, and disrupts your rhythm until there's nothing left. Dubois might land a big shot here and there, but in a 12-round tactical chess match, it's hard to see him keeping pace with a grandmaster like Usyk. Then there's Tyson Fury. Always the entertainer, always brash and loud. But don't let the noise distract you from the truth hiding in his words. Even amidst his colorful rants, Fury couldn't help but acknowledge Usyk first. Notice how, when discussing future fights, Fury talks about
It's not an easy task, but he's definitely the man that can go through with it. He's done the work, he's gone through the pedigree, and he's a certified champion. So, I think he has big hopes on doing it. He's going to do it.
Usyk before even addressing Dubois. That says everything you need to know. Deep down, Fury knows Usyk is the real threat, the genuine champion holding all the belts Fury once claimed. Dubois? To Fury, he's just the next guy, the stepping stone, the name before the real fight. Whether or not you believe Fury will actually face either man is beside the point. What matters is that even Fury, never one to show humility, places Usyk several rungs above Dubois. And rightly so. Usyk earned every belt through hard-fought wars, not media hype or matchmaking favors. When Fury dreams about ruling the heavyweight division again, he knows Usyk stands between him and that dream. Dubois isn't the obstacle, he's the appetizer. Fabio Wardley summed it up well. Usyk doesn't need to flip tables, scream at cameras, or throw drinks across a press conference stage. He doesn't need theatrics. Usyk operates with calm, calculated menace. Everything he does, from his silence to his smiles.
You know, like you said, like Daniel hit him with that shot and he never capitalized on it.
Yeah.
I sparred him for maybe 40 rounds in 2 weeks. I didn't hit him with one shot. Dubois might have, if that was a legal shot, I don't think it was. But good luck at him again. Hitting Usyk with 2 clean shots in 12 rounds is an unbelievable task. People don't.
Is laced with intent. It's not friendliness, it's confidence. That unshakable belief in his preparation and his ability. Dubois is still learning how to handle this level of psychological warfare. Fabio calls Usyk chill, but the reality is far deeper. It's calculation. Every stare, every pause, every grin, it's designed to unsettle his opponent. Usyk builds psychological pressure round after round until the man across from him crumbles. If Dubois walks in thinking this is just fists and fury, he'll find himself 4 rounds deep, already downloaded, dissected, and losing rounds before he knows it. When Lennox Lewis, the last undisputed heavyweight champion and a true Hall of Famer, throws his support behind Usyk, that speaks volumes. Lennox has been there. He's climbed the mountain, stayed at the top, and understands exactly what it takes to dominate at the elite level. When he says Usyk is the man to do it, he's not throwing out guesses. Lennox recognizes greatness when he sees it.
He's a beast. He's a good fighter. He's a hard fighter to beat. And I think he'll learn from the mistakes he made in the first fight against Usyk, and it will give him a hard fight. Look, he has the tools.
His career path reads like a masterclass in championship boxing. Olympic gold, undisputed cruiserweight champion, unified heavyweight champion, all while fighting on foreign soil with the odds stacked against him. That's grit. That's pedigree. That's legacy. Lennox knows the work, the footwork, the head movement, the mental steel that Usyk brings. This isn't just about looking slick. It's about living a relentless, disciplined lifestyle. Usyk trains like no other. Lennox isn't hesitating on this pick, and neither should we. Dave Allen's insight is another gem. Having sparred over 40 rounds with Usyk, Allen speaks from first-hand experience. He's been in there, felt the angles, the pressure, the distance control. Allen cuts through the fan noise with blunt honesty. The average viewer sees Dubois land a big punch and thinks that spells danger for Usyk. But Allen knows better. Hitting Usyk cleanly twice in 12 rounds is a monumental task. This isn't a guy you hit and hurt easily. Even when Dubois did land that infamous low shot.
Usyk is a class act, a mature individual because he's older and wiser, comes from a completely different background. But Daniel Dubois is growing into himself. This will be one hell of a fight. This will be a proper fight, like all of the Usyk fights have been.
Shot in their last encounter, he couldn't capitalize. Why? Because Usyk is a master of recovery, distance control, and mental reset. Where most fighters panic after getting clipped, Usyk adjusts, refocuses, and keeps his opponent guessing. That's the difference between being good and being generational. Allen confirms what many insiders already suspect. You can land on Usyk, but it's what happens next that matters, and Usyk's answer is always the same: adapt and dominate. Amir Khan, ever the diplomat, gave Dubois his props. He called him a beast, a dangerous fighter, and a tough man to beat. Fair enough. But even Amir couldn't sound fully convinced. Khan says Dubois has the tools, but tools mean nothing without execution. When the heat's been on, Dubois has folded before. Against Joyce, and again when he failed to finish Usyk after that low blow. That's not the instinct of a killer. That's inexperience under fire. Khan hopes Dubois has learned from past mistakes. But learning and applying those lessons against someone like Usyk are two very different things. Usyk isn't static. He's evolving too. His angles, timing, and punch output drown opponents. Unlike Dubois, Usyk rarely needs a plan B. His plan A is usually more than enough. Khan tries to sound balanced, but even he drops too many ifs and mights when discussing Dubois. Usyk doesn't operate in guesswork. He delivers. Finally, Simon Jordan's take captures why this fight is so compelling. It's not just a physical contest. It's a clash of mentalities, backgrounds, and life experiences. On one side, Usyk, the disciplined craftsman shaped by adversity. On the other, Dubois, a physical specimen still growing into himself as a fighter. That's the difference. Usyk knows exactly who he is. Dubois is still figuring it out. Jordan calls it a proper fight, and he's right, because Usyk never phones it in. He forces opponents to sink or swim, dragging them into deep waters and exposing every technical and mental flaw. Dubois has power, size, and youth. But this isn't just about who hits harder. It's about composure, timing, and mental warfare. As Jordan subtly puts it, this fight isn't just physical. It's tactical, emotional, and psychological. And in every department, Usyk holds the advantage. So here we are. Everything has led to this. The bombshell moment isn't just what Mayweather said, it's what it signifies. When Floyd Mayweather tips his hat to you, it confirms what real boxing heads already know. This isn't just about belts, this is about legacy. Dubois is young, hungry, and coming full of fire, but will that be enough to dethrone a master technician who dances circles around champions? If Dubois shocks the world, he becomes an overnight legend. He silences doubters and flips the heavyweight picture upside down. But if Usyk wins again, he cements himself as one of the greatest cruiserweights turned heavyweights ever. Undefeated, untouchable, unmatched. So here's the real question. Who's mentally stronger? Who breaks first? Who digs deeper when it gets ugly in the championship rounds? Dubois may hit harder, but Usyk thinks faster. And in championship boxing, brains beat brawn 9 times out of 10. Now it's your turn. Who are you backing? The Ukrainian chess master with ice in his veins? Or the British powerhouse hoping for redemption? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let the debate begin.